Are you concerned about mold in your home, school, or office? Even small amounts of mold can cause health problems such as wheezing, sinus congestion, and watery eyes. The Mold Armor Do-It-Yourself Mold Test Kit tests for the presence of mold within 48 hours. It is safe, easy to use, and a simple way to protect your family from toxic and other molds. The kit can be used either indoors or outdoors. You will need one mold test kit for each area of concern. An optional mail-in lab analysis is available, which identifies the type of mold present. The mold test kit comes with a petri dish, a sterile swab, and a bottle of mold growth medium. To use, remove the petri dish from the plastic bag and lay it on a level surface with the lid side up. Remove the lid of the petri dish and pour the mold growth medium into the dish bottom. Replace the lid and swirl gently until the bottom is completely covered. Allow to gel for 1 hour on a level surface. There are 3 testing methods to tell if you have a mold problem. The indoor air quality test method tests the indoor air for mold spores. The air conditioning and heating sampling method tests the air from a forced air heating and air conditioning unit. The surface sampling testing method is used if you already have mold growing and want to know the type of mold it is. Some types of mold are more dangerous to your health, so it is important to know the type of mold you have. Send a mold sample to our lab for analysis, and we will tell you the mold type within 3 weeks. After you have completed the petri dish setup, place it on a level surface in the location where you want to test for mold. Remove the lid of the petri dish and leave it open to the environment for 1 hour. After 1 hour, replace the lid and allow to incubate for 48 hours. If there is no mold present within 48 hours, recheck the dish at 72 hours and 96 hours to be sure that no slow-growing mold was overlooked. If mold growth is present after the incubation period, you may send the petri dish to our lab for analysis on the type of mold present. If no mold is present after 72 hours, then you do not have a mold problem. Mold can also come from your heating and air conditioning unit. To test, locate the air exhaust vent which is furthest away from the furnace. After preparing the petri dish, remove the lid and tape the open dish against the open air vent. Close all of the remaining air vents that are on the system. Turn the system fan on high for a 10-minute period, allowing forced air to hit the inside surface of the petri dish. After 10 minutes, remove the petri dish, replace the lid, and allow to incubate for 48 hours. If no mold is present after 48 hours, recheck the dish at 72 hours and 96 hours to be sure that no slow-growing mold was overlooked. If mold growth is present, you may send the petri dish to our lab for analysis on the type of mold you have. If no mold is present after 72 hours, then you do not have a mold problem. If you already see mold growing and want to determine the type it is, then you need to collect a sample and send it to us for analysis. You will need to use the prepared petri dish and the enclosed sterile swab. Locate the visual mold growth. Take the sterile swab and wipe the tip across the surface mold growth. Be sure the mold adheres to the swab tip. Remove the lid from the petri dish. Very gently wipe the mold sample from the tip of the swab across the top surface of the medium on the petri dish, allowing the mold to adhere. Replace the lid. Be sure to send both the swab and petri dish to our lab for analysis. Some types of mold, like toxic mold, are more dangerous than others. It is important to determine the type of mold you have growing. Our lab analysis will do this for you. Take the petri dish with the mold growing inside and tape the edges with electrical tape. Place it back into the Ziploc bag and mail it to our lab following the instructions on the back of the package. There is a fee for each lab analysis, and you will receive the results within 3 weeks.